Sounds good. All right.
So
Checking my notes.
to briefly recap the last session of Dauntless, uh, it started with a meeting and kind of a dinner between the senior staff of the Dauntless and the Shroud, many of whom are familiar to Bianca. She worked alongside a great many of them when she was on board the Legacy. There was one person missing. Uh, the Shroud's weapons and security officer, an Orion woman named Talia, was not among the attendees. The Dauntless was called away to investigate a distress signal that had been transmitted via a radio frequency. So it was about 25 years old by that point. But when they arrived, they discovered a pre-warp civilization that was on the verge of collapse because an industrial accident had catalyzed all of the oxygen in the planet's atmosphere. Uh, Noticing the Dauntless, a Zealand ship entered the system and attempted to make contact. The Dauntless prevented them from doing so, which was when the sweetie, which was when the Dauntless opened, or which was when the Zealand opened fire on the Dauntless, rather. Uh, They then left the system, but were destroyed a few minutes later. And when Dauntless went to investigate the wreckage, they found a beacon transmitting a message in Orion that said, "Thus ever to slavers."
What the message say? You cut out for me.
Thus ever to slavers.
Something death to slavers thereabouts.
Sort of.
Okay, that's good. Good enough. It's cutting out, but that's the gist. Sounds good.
So, we start this episode in the holodeck, where Lieutenant Jonas Carden and Centurion Dali are determining what kind of scenario to set up.
I believe we agreed on a flight simulation.
Okay.
We did.
Okay. So, what kind of a
into the danger zone.
what kind of aircraft are you guys in? Or is that something that maybe you haven't determined yet?
Most comfortable in a Bajoran shuttle of some kind?
Sorry, what was that?
I said, what would Jonas feel most comfortable in?
For Jonas, basically any ship he can easily find comfort in, except for Klingon ships because the chairs are very uncomfortable.
Maybe a Bajoran solar sailor.
We were joking about that earlier.
We were.
But
It's Jonas's
seems a little
favorite.
bit advanced.
It's Jonas's favorite ship.
Gotcha.
How about a Bajoran cruiser, like a personal cruiser?
Yeah, that seems fair.
Something small, medium, like I guess in proper terms, like a Corvette in like Mass Effect terms.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Something, a smallish crew that can be handled by like up to 4 or 5 people, but has no problem having 2 people.
Gotcha. Well, it's y'all scene, so carry on.
All right. I guess Jonas will be finishing up putting the required info into the computer. Is there anything else you want me to add into this for you? Any surprises, or do you want it to be fairly simple?
Well, if this is testing my ingenuity, I suppose surprises are necessary.
Jonas gets a little smile on his face. All right, surprises are added in. All right, computer, activate program labeled Dali, test pilot.
The program just kind of springs to life. You find yourselves inside this small Bajoran craft in orbit of Bajor.
All right. Jonas will smile and he'll motion to the pilot seat for Dali.
I will move and sit and just kind of study the consoles, like familiarizing them.
Don't be afraid to ask questions. I can answer anything that you might have a question for.
I'm familiar with the schematics of most basic Alliance ships.
All right, then. All right. How about getting us set up for pre-flight checking?
All right. What do I roll for these things?
I'm going to make this
My con is garbage.
That's all right. I'm going to make this a control con roll. It will be difficulty 0.
Okay. And
And regular complication range.
okay, and sorry,
he set
I don't
the difficulty to easy when he programmed the hollow situation simulation.
Yeah, exactly. Difficulty, dumbass. Sorry, is it? Did you say control con?
I did, yes.
Funny story, real quick. I got to go to the grocery store, and I just now remembered my client tore my shirt. So I'm going to walk in the store with like half a shirt. Well, not half, but it's going to look like.
Holy shit!
Look at you!
Way to go.
Jonas, you find yourself wondering if you're like broadcasting in that way that Elorians normally don't. Because Dali takes to the ship's con panel like a fish to water. Like she sits down, starts doing pre-flights, and it looks like she's been doing this as long as you have.
And I've been doing this a while. Impressive.
It's not that dissimilar to. I've read the manual several times.
All right. Why don't you take us away from the planet and head into space in whatever direction you want?
What? She seems kind of uncomfortable with the idea of heading.
Sometimes, sometimes as a pilot, unless you have a course to take, there's a sense of thrill and fun not knowing where you're going and just picking a direction.
Okay. I suppose we could head galactic west. And I will do the thing. Push
Okay.
more buttons.
Given your success on the pre-flight checks, I'm not going to make you roll for this. You are familiar enough with this console that you're able to set a course that basically takes you headed anti-spinward.
All right.
How's it feel getting your? I don't know if have you ever done a flight simulation before?
I believe once. And it was on a Romulan vessel, so
Well, so far so good.
They tactile.
Sorry, what was that last part?
They tend to be much more tactile.
Ah, understandable. So you know those surprises that I mentioned.
Yeah.
Why don't you look ahead?
Oh God.
Ahead of our ship will be, I guess, the equivalent of, like, of a like a race course or something happening out in the expanse of the stars.
Like an obstacle course kind of thing.
Yes.
I'm assuming I need to stay within the pylons.
You could. I'm not going to tell you much, but why don't you go on through?
You just get this like disapproving dry. Some of us don't feel the universe, Jonas.
It has nothing to do with feeling the universe. It has everything to do with, as a pilot, having to expect the unexpected and be ready for practically anything to happen.
You just get this like deadpan stare.
Do you know how many scenarios I go over on a daily basis of what could happen to the Dauntless that I have to be prepared for?
I have no idea how you sleep at night.
Well, lately I sleep fairly well, but it's more along the lines of preparing myself well enough in order to know that I am confident in my abilities to fly the ship through most hazardous situations.
All
For
right, I'm
example,
gonna enter the.
in terms of difficulty, the obstacle course is basically like just above beginner's level. So for someone who hasn't flown a ship before, it might give them a bit of a push.
Okay, I figured it might be escalating difficulty as we went through. So
Oh, yes, very much so.
so we'll start with Control Con. The difficulty is going to start at 1. Jonas, you can assist if you like.
Don't you dare insist I want to do this on my own.
Oh, Jonas is sitting back with his arms crossed across his chest. He is watching.
Okay, Control Con, difficulty 1.
And the Bajoran ship will also assist.
Okay, I can roll for the ship.
Okay, for this, we're just going to use the levels character sheet, I think. So, use its engines con.
All right.
All right, 2 more successes. And you kind of start getting a feel for the ship as you're maneuvering it, Dudley. Uh, it is slightly more maneuverable than the Romulan shuttlecraft that you've flown before.
Much, much smoother.
And really, it takes a very light touch on the controls to get it to move the way that you want it to.
Out of all of the ships I've ever flown, and it's probably because I'm biased, but I have had a special fondness for Bajoran spacecrafts since I've lived there. They're very sensitive to how you want them to act and how they should act.
Interesting.
Okay. Let's do another roll. This one's going to be difficulty 2.
Oh, here we go. Nope.
All right. The ship doesn't roll even though you hit a 1, right?
Well, the ship gets to roll as well. Yeah. I mean, as long as there's at
Okay.
least one, as long as Dali had at least one success.
Engines con again?
Yep.
No.
Okay. This time, the pylons are a little closer together for this next set, or for the next phase of the track, and you find the interceptor drifting just a little bit outside. You move to correct, but the vehicle actually does a roll, and taking it through the pylons and across to the other side.
Jonas is laughing. He's enjoying himself. He's not like bad laughing. He's just laughing because he's having. All right, bring this about. Try again.
I have. just lots of half-finished sentences are happening. And quiet muttering. I will attempt the thing again.
Okay. It'll be the same roll as before.
If Roll20 would like to roll. Oh, good. Nope, 0. No, the first one was 0, so the ship doesn't get to roll.
Oh, sorry, I didn't see the first one.
No worries. It was kind of a lag spike. So what ends up happening is you again try to correct, but before you realize it, you've kind of lost the ship's orientation. You're not sure quite where the pylons are.
All right, take a moment. I don't want you to overthink it. Piloting, yes, you have a lot of the technical stuff in your head, but a lot of piloting is intuitive work. That's the part you're struggling with at the moment. You're thinking too much.
I'm supposed to think.
Yes, but you're thinking too much. You have to find the balance between your logical side and the creative side that intuits the information. You can look out there and say the pylons are this far apart, and you can measure that correctly down to the minute millimeter. But it will be the intuitive side of your brain that allows you to maneuver the ship and know that you'll fit through it.
I don't have an intuitive side.
I think you do, but you've never had to use it before. We'll try one more time. And this time I would like to help her by talking. I would like to assist her by coaching her through, not touching the controls, but talking her through it.
Gotcha. Okay, so Dahli, for this role, I'm going to have you use Insight Con.
Okay.
Jonas, I'm going to have you use Presence Command for your assist.
Okay, this will be interesting.
And the level will assist with Engines Con.
All right.
And I'm going to say your attunement focus applies here, Jonas.
Okay.
Okay, 3 successes. So with Jonas's reassuring words, Dali, you are able to find the course again and settle the Bajoran craft back onto the course. You're as you do so, you're getting some rather nice views of Bajor, some of Bajor's moons. There's a spot in the far distance that you think might be the wormhole.
See? You sometimes you just have to pull back on the logic and lose yourself in that intuitive moment. Even if you're not consciously aware of it, it's there.
How can... That doesn't make any sense.
Here's another term for it. You have to have faith in yourself.
Mm.
Oh, look, I think we have friends. And Jonas will point off to the side, and 2 Cardassian ships are coming into view, and they start chasing us.
Oh, God!
They are Cardassian Hideki class ships, about the same size as the Bajoran Interceptor.
Jonas, why do you hate my character?
Oh, he doesn't. He loves your character. This is just fun. They're not gonna fire, they're just chasing.
Alright, I'm gonna... I guess my first instinct would be to try and lose them. Not necessarily like speed, but through like just trying to like find a place to hide.
Bajor's asteroid belt might just do the trick. And
Cool.
It's not too far off.
Okay, I'm gonna try and head in that direction.
Okay. Heading in that direction, since you're not doing a whole lot of evasive stuff at this point, I'm not going to make you roll for. In fact, we'll say that you guys arrive at the asteroid field. They are keeping up, but have not closed any distance.
Alright, going through an asteroid belt. This is where you're gonna have to pay attention and be smart. Logic plays a lot of smarts here.
And I suppose also, and you get like finger quotes.
And also what?
Feel it. And you get like finger quotes.
Yes, exactly. And he makes air quotes back at you. Feel it.
All right,
so this is going to be Daring Con.
Oh, good.
The difficulty is, I'm setting the difficulty at 3.
Oh, good.
For this, Jonas will help coach her again.
Same way as before?
Yeah, not touching the controls, but talking her through it.
Yep, that's absolutely okay. So you'll roll the same as before, and so will the ship.
All right, gotcha.
Let me just try to roll below a...
I mean, you're maxed on momentum if you decide you want to use some.
Oh, I didn't know that we were getting momentum. Cool. Yeah, I'll take a momentum.
Okay. Go ahead and make your roll when you're ready.
Really?
Really, what? What happened?
No, I got 2 successes. I'm fucking shocked.
3 successes.
So you make the roll. Let's see what happens here. All right. you managed to surprise yourself by plotting an evasive course through these asteroids and narrowly missing a couple of them. Uh, it doesn't look at first like the Cardassians are going to keep up. Uh, but in fact, they do stay on your tail. And that's when you get a communique. Senior officers, please report to the bridge.
Computer, end program.
And the backdrop disappears and you guys are back on a blank holodeck.
Hey, you were doing really well there.
I don't know why, but I think I react better in tense situations.
Oh, I'll keep that in mind for the next time.
No, please don't.
Jonas is gonna link arms with them, and then move out the doors towards the turbo lift.
I guess we'll head to the turbo lift.
Yeah. You guys, the two of you encounter Commander Rye on your way, like as you're leaving the holodeck. And Adam, yep, I was like, still in the supermarket, but this is your cue, man.
No, I'm actually about ready to walk in, so give me 30 seconds to say hello to the girlfriend, and she's going to be like, I'll be here.
Okay.
Hey, sweetie. I'm home, but I'm playing Star Trek, so just let me know. Kisses? No? Okay, she's mad. I say that in a joking way. She's always mad when I get home.
Mad like a hatter.
I would be too. Yeah. Okay, so sorry about that.
Nope, that's fine. So you had just gotten the notification, all senior officers, please report to the bridge as...
Door opens, make sure what I'm...
Sorry, go ahead.
Is still... So, can you hear?
Sort of?
Hello.
Yeah, okay, try now.
There we go. Better? Hold on.
Man,
hold on.
Discord's being an ass pain tonight.
Try it now. Better?
Better, yes.
Okay. So I want to make sure what I'm going to say is true first. One of the last things I did before we got attacked, I remember that meme virus. We were concerned it was on Jonas's computer, so I went there to dismantle it.
Right.
So the way I'm kind of thinking is what I did last adventure was I completed my investigation of the main computer. Mm-hmm. So did I find and or purge all traces of this meme virus from the computer as far as my expertise determines?
Yes.
Cool. Okay. Then cool. So that will be how I'm going to pick this up. So they come out through the turbo lift. I will walk up. Do they still have their arms linked at this point in time?
Probably.
Oh, if Dali showed any sign of not wanting to have arms linked, Jonas would acquiesce and let go.
Well, if we're arriving at the bridge, then probably not.
No, you guys are... This is like literally just outside the holodeck door.
Oh, okay. Okay, then yeah.
I will give a knowing and wirely smile at the two of them, as customary for Rye. Lieutenant Carden, I was hoping I could speak to you one moment before we head to the bridge.
Of course. Dali, do you want to head up and I'll be up there in just a moment?
You just get a nod and I'll head to the turbo lift.
Gotcha. I let her get as far enough away as I assume Romulan hearing will not pick up. And then I will say, we can walk and talk.
Okay.
As you know, I apologize, but for the mess in your quarters, but I had to ensure that the meme virus did not replicate in the computer. I have in my so Rai has in his hand a pad, like always, and he also has a small isolinear chip. As a result, I've had to scour all of your everything that was located on that particular console, as well as associated memory and isolinear chips. I have completed my investigation, and as a result, I'm returning your property to you. I need you to sign right here.
Oh,
I'll hold out my pad.
all right, thank you. And he'll lean over and sign the pass.
Yeah. So I go to give Lieutenant Carden his isolinear chip. This is all of your personal information. If I may, kind of pulling it back just a hair, not like I'm going to hold on to it, but as if I have something to say before I give it over. If I may, Jonas, he says, intentionally not using your rank.
Sure.
During my investigation, I noticed part of the things I looked for was reoccurring patterns, topics, things that the virus might hide in. And I noticed a startle. There was, other than just general talks about flying the ship in regards to your profession here on the vessel, the second thing that came up most frequently was the Centurion.
Not surprising, but yes.
It is not my place to make any comment. He says, dropping his knowing, wirely smile that he has when pretty much ever he speaks. It is not my place, and I will hold this in confidence as my position in this investigation. But may I offer some advice?
Jonas will tilt his head to the side a little bit. Of course.
You may live for centuries, but life is still short. And take it from someone who's lost nearly everyone that you'll regret not saying some things. So I'd consider not waiting another 100 years to say something. And he'll give him the isolinear chip, or he'll indicate it further.
Jonas will take a moment and then reach out for it and gently take it, and he'll nod. I appreciate your advice. It is advice I've heard before, but never really had cause to take under advisement.
Space can be a dark and lonely place, despite how many bright lights we have on this ship. I would do your best to keep one of your lights in your life alive. And I say, pressing the turbo lift button. I would hate to keep the captain waiting, Lieutenant, he says, picking up his smile again.
Of course, Lieutenant Commander. And he'll step onto the turbo lift when it opens and slide the isolinear chip into his inner pocket.
Okay. We are going to step backward in time a few moments because while Jonas and Dudley were in the holodeck, Bianca was having a different conversation in her ready room.
Bianca is just waiting behind her desk, holding a pad. All right.
Say again?
She's standing behind her desk, holding a pad.
Holding a pad, okay.
And she's waiting.
She waiting for anything in particular?
Yes, she's waiting for someone to enter the room.
Okay. Who?
The person she's going to talk to?
Okay.
I don't dictate when he comes in.
Oh. So she's waiting to talk to Varric, is what you're saying.
Yes. She's waiting for him to report to her ready room. That's what I said.
Okay, I missed that part. Fucking Discord. Uh, so a few moments pass, and then the chime at the door.
She says, "Come in," and she's kind of like tapping the pad against one of her hand, the back of the pad against one of her hands,
Varric steps in.
and she just kind of regards him, looks at him, and she goes, "Have a seat, Captain."
Thank you, Captain. He says, kind of quizzically.
And she kind of just tosses the pad at him across the desk.
Which is not difficult for him to catch given his reflexes.
No, she tosses it onto the desk in front of him.
Onto the desk.
And she goes, "Is there something you want to tell me, Captain?"
I meant to tell you at the dinner.
Which you conveniently forgot to tell me.
I wouldn't say it was convenient, but
How long?
11 days! Sorry. Katie told me they'd pay me money if I worked that in.
Can't even be mad.
About 2 weeks.
2 weeks. She has been gone for 2 weeks, and you didn't think that the commander of the task force in the Carina Nebula deserved to know.
Is this really about you as the captain of the task force? Or is this about you as Talia's big sister?
Don't go there with me right now.
Because if this is about you as Talia's big sister, I can be a lot more...
This is about you not giving me the information I need. And keeping it from me.
I gave a report to Starfleet Intelligence. Whether they chose to tell you is a different matter entirely.
Excuse me, but I find it hard to believe that you gave a report to Starfleet Intelligence before you would let me know what was going on.
Because I knew you'd be worried.
Damn right I'm worried. I'm also pissed off. How am I supposed to demonstrate to Starfleet that I know what the hell I'm doing out here when I've got crap like this happening under my nose and I don't know anything about it?
Because frankly, Captain, Talia's not your responsibility. She's mine. I've spent the
Damn
last...
straight she is!
And I have spent the last 2 weeks turning over every rock I know of in the Carina Nebula sector to try and find her.
And you didn't think that using more resources would help that?
I thought it would just make her go to ground even deeper. But now that it has been 2 weeks, and now that you are aware, can you help?
Well, it's become my problem whether you wanted it to be or not. Which is why I deserved to know.
How does it become your problem? Aside from the fact that she is basically your little sister.
Did you even look at the pad?
Beacon? In Orion. You think this is her?
She's the only Orion I know of in the nebula.
There are a few others.
Thank you for letting me know that, too. How in the hell am I supposed to do my job if I don't have the information that the person in charge of intelligence in this sector is not giving me? It's like you don't trust me.
Bianca, a lot of the work that we've been doing in this sector, we've been doing under Starfleet Intelligence's orders. I don't get to dictate what information I share. Now, I can and will make the point that you deserve to be in on these intelligence reports, and that I should start giving them to you directly instead of funneling them through the chain of command, because apparently they're not coming back down to you.
No, they're not.
But in that case, I don't think I'm the one you need to be yelling at.
I'm sorry.
I'm sorry, too. I should have told you about Talia sooner.
You know, I didn't want to believe my security officer when she said that something was up with you guys.
You know, I think your security officer has fantastic instincts. And
She's paranoid as all hell.
like I said,
Maybe for
fantastic
good reason.
instincts.
You were never the paranoid type.
No, but when was the last time your security officer's been wrong?
Wrong, no. Overblown, maybe.
Yeah, then she probably needs to mellow out a little bit, but that instinct is spot on. Listen to her and use that instinct. That will keep your ship alive, trust me.
Oh, I intend to. I just guess I'm used to falling back on your instinct.
That was a luxury that you had when you weren't captain of your own starship.
I know.
And in command of your own task force, as you so correctly point out.
I don't know what made Starfleet think I was ready for this ship, let alone the task force.
I think Starfleet has a way of knowing when an officer is ready. Now, whether that officer knows they're ready, or whether they're entirely ready, is a different story. You were ready for command, Bianca, and I have to say you've quite grown into it. And he just kind of smiles at you.
Bianca's looking out the window behind her desk and just rubbing her temple.
Which is when you see some flashes of ships coming in out of warp.
And then she just pushes a button on her desk. She goes, Captain to the bridge?
Bridge here.
There's some ships dropping out of warp. What's going on?
This is Catalea on the other side of of the communication. Captain, I'm reading several Starfleet vessels, led by about a half dozen Miranda class, one Akira class, and one Pathfinder.
Okay, that wasn't
Also,
expected.
I'm also reading some Klingon ships entering the system, Captain. Strike that, just one Klingon ship, but it's rather large.
A board askew?
A Potashku, yes.
Gotcha. And she just looks over at Valric and she goes, "Yeah, looks like we can table this for another time."
Sounds like the pool just got a lot more crowded, Captain.
Yeah, you're telling me. You know, I remember when we were the only ones out here. Felt so lonely then, and now I'd give anything to be the only one ones out here again.
It was a lot simpler, wasn't it?
Much.
Well, Captain, I'll leave you to it. I should get back to my ship and make sure we're
Imzadi,
ready for all our visitors. Yes.
I'm gonna bring her home. I have to.
We're going to bring her home, Ashaya.
Okay. And she lets him exit before she leaves the ready room.
Yep. Okay. And as you're leaving the ready room, Catalea has already taken the precaution of recalling the senior staff to the bridge.
Bianca takes her chair and crosses her legs.
Because things are going to start to get crowded, as I said. Give me one moment. We're going to swap
you're telling
screens.
me.
Yeah.
You're telling me.
Oh, shoot. Hang on, guys. These two screen maps are too far apart. The amount of distance between these maps is too damn high.
I like that angle of the shroud, by the way.
Thank you.
Although she looks a lot bigger than she should be.
Yeah, probably so. I mean, the Shroud is a decent-sized ship. So is the Portashku.
Oh, the board askew is enormous. But...
Yeah, it is the size of the Dauntless.
I'm used to being the big fish in the pond, damn it.
I don't currently have an asset for a
It's not the
Pathfinder, so
size
we're
of a
not gonna.
ship.
Oh my god.
You know, it takes a long time to get to England in a fucking rowboat.
Yeah, we're on an Odyssey class explorer. That okay. There's a certain point where it's just, I mean, I don't know, but you're just getting too big. You're just like, we're just gonna add 4 more nacelles on that one.
As someone who's been on board a Nimitz class
Carrier?
aircraft carrier and a Los Angeles class submarine, I understand that.
Yeah, the Nimitz could use a few more warp nacelles too. So, as you walk onto the bridge, Catalea says, "Captain, we're receiving a hail from the Pathfinder class ship. I'm going to. I'll actually no. That would be super awkward."
I was gonna say I'm not role playing that. I look like D. Bradley Baker to you?
No, but you kind of sound like him. Maybe I don't know. We'll say the hailing frequency is coming from the Klingon ship.
Okay. On screen.
USS Dauntless. This is the IKS Sigpa. We are announcing our presence in the sector.
Well, it's good to have you here. What brings you out this way?
We are aware, Captain, that the Felithrix have applied for Federation membership. We wish to offer them membership in the Klingon Defense Force as well. Since our powers are united, it only makes sense to offer the Felithrix the best of both worlds.
I see. Well, I'm sure they would benefit from our alliance as members of the Federation. But of course, that is their decision to make.
It need not be mutually exclusive, Captain. So says our ambassador.
Who is your ambassador?
Worf.
That name hits Bianca like a ton of bricks.
I think there's a mental like, oh shit, from everyone.
Of course, we would be honored to receive Ambassador Worf.
You need not receive him directly, Captain. He is bound for the Felithrix world. But I will pass along your regards.
Of course. Please do make him aware that this is a dual species system.
He is aware, Captain.
Of course. Any information that we might be able to provide, I will gladly give him.
Thank you, Captain. I will relay your accommodation to him.
Of course. Are the Starfleet ships with you?
The Starfleet ships are here on their own accord. I suspect they will be contacting you shortly.
Understood.
Sigpa
Wow.
out.
Kapla.
And on that note, as if by cue, you receive a hail from the Akira class vessel.
Put it on
Captain.
screen.
Oh, sorry, Jonas, go ahead.
Oh no, I was basically just gonna repeat it.
Oh, okay.
I'm too
I have
seeing
one job
the-
on this ship, and by God, I'm gonna do it.
I technically have two.
On screen, you see a Vulcan in a somewhat dark-skinned and Odyssey class uniform, much the same as yours. Captain West, I presume.
Yes, I'm Captain West of the Dauntless.
Greetings. I am Captain Safan of the USS Valkyrie. We are here to render medical assistance. Starfleet's command has informed us of a medical emergency at the Felithrix camp where several refugees were recently placed.
Oh, I was not made aware of this.
I apologize. There does seem to be an issue with communications among the different branches of Starfleet's Admiralty.
Yeah, you're telling me.
In point of fact, I am.
And it's internally that Bianca just kind of goes, Vulcans.
Which you're like, is kind of infuriating until you notice he's smirking. And you are fairly certain he just made a joke.
It's still internally, Vulcans. They think they're so smart, and now they think they're so funny. Well, I'm glad at least somebody's telling me now.
And the Vulcan.
Your ships are more than welcome, of course.
The Vulcan nods.
Please do brief me on the situation, however, when you have the time.
Of course, Captain. He says and nods. If you have an away team with medical personnel, my commanding officer would like to meet them and brief them at the camp.
Of course, I can make my chief medical officer available.
Thank you, Captain. Valkyrie out.
And is Dolly on the bridge?
Yeah, everyone's on the bridge by this point.
Yeah.
And Centurion Dolly.
Captain.
Go down to sickbay, let Dr. Pierce know what's going on. I intend to lend you guys over to this medical task force.
Understood. I will make my way to medbay.
Okay. Stand by. Stand by to stand by. Holding for General Holdo. Okay. Sickbay is where you guys are. Hi, Jasmine. Who all's down in sickbay? Just you, Tully?
I'm assuming so, and whoever is on medical.
Okay. So you see Dr. Pierce is actually conversing with the emergency medical hologram, talking about some patient treatments. When you walk in, Dr. Pierce says, "Hold that thought," and says, "Yes, Dali, what can I do for you?"
Has requested us to assist with a outbreak on the Feldthrick surface.
Outbreak. That sounds particularly disturbing. All right. I will accompany you, and I suppose we'll bring our EMH along. I'll load him into a portable holotransmitter. I can meet you on the bridge?
And I just nod. And once he leaves, I will go ahead and start pulling up the information on refugees that we sent.
Okay.
And also working on transfer to one of the hollow transmitters.
Okay. I mean, setting up the EMH in a portable transmitter is not difficult. I'm going to assume there was one set up in sickbay for him, basically.
Yeah. Just go put on your mobile emitter.
Yep, exactly. Yeah. So, what information are you looking up on the refugees?
Just all of the information that we got, like the general medical scans that I got, just to bring, so that if there are changes in them based on like from
you have
the
a baseline.
first.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha. Who else is going to be on y'all's away team?
I'm requesting Shiana.
I feel like that's a good choice.
Hey, Shiana, wanna go help some people?
Sure.
Anybody else?
If you want Jonas, he has the rudimentary medical knowledge you've been sharing with him and teaching him.
Sure, Nurse Jonas can come too.
Nurse Jonas.
I'll get you a little paper hat.
Hey, he makes that outfit look good.
Anyone else?
Unless this is a note from the storyteller GM saying, "Hey, everybody should go," I really don't see my particle physicist, weapons expert, science officer helping with a plague. Unless we
Nope.
need to vaporize people.
Yeah.
In
Hey,
which
I mean,
case,
that is one way to cure a plague.
if everybody who's sick is dead, no one can transmit it. Or rather,
Well, we might
does
need
not
to
exist on the
vaporize the
molecular
bodies.
level anymore.
Yeah. Okay. Nope, that's
People are
fair. So
dying.
you've got Dali. You've got the doctor, whose name I can never remember, even though it is
Pierce.
Pierce. Thank you.
Pierce.
Even though I've got a character sheet for him, I still can't remember his frickin' name. just sue me. Just defenestrate me. Just throw me out a window.
Doctor.
Yes.
That's what everybody calls doctors.
Yeah. So
We
you've
can go
got the
ask Erica, I'm
EMH.
sure that's what they call her.
I would say y'all are probably ready to beam down.
Excellent.
All right.
Is there any kind of like biohazard protocols, like a suit or something that we should bring?
Hey, Don, I need access to a certain character sheet.
Okay. Stand by.
Also, real quick, talking to the player of the captain real quick. 'Cause I
You
didn't
should have
hear-
access to that
Yes.
character sheet, Sarah.
Okay.
It's under guest characters.
Oh, okay, there it is. Thank you.
You're welcome.
This might be this. Two questions here. Am I remembering? Did I hear right that some other ship shows up and tells us that we have orders? We didn't get it from Starfleet. Or
No, Starfleet has been not talking to me.
okay, so but you expect that? Like that's normal?
Yeah, well, no, because the thing is that out here we kind of get forgotten about.
Okay. To me, it just seemed weird that another ship shows up out of nowhere and be like, "Yeah, by the way, you should go over here, away from where you currently are." Maybe I'm just a Romulan and being paranoid,
Well,
but
no, it's we're still in the same system. It's just
okay. That's
Yeah.
it. Just the Romulan in me just was like, "Yeah, go away from here for a
Right?
minute. We
Well,
promise
Look, a
nothing's gonna happen."
distraction.
Yeah, that's what it sounded
Right.
like.
plus I know these as a player. Might be metagaming a little bit, but I know these characters as a player. So
Yeah, that's fine. I'm just was like,
there is
if
that
we got like
component, too.
bullshit orders from somebody, I'm gonna find out if these orders are real.
Yeah, and we're not so much as being ordered as like they're telling us what's going on, and Bianca's like, I feel like we should know about this and we should be helping.
Yep.
Gotcha.
Kind of in the sense of an organic universe, this is stuff that's happening, and Dauntless can choose to help or to go fuck off and do something else.
Cool. I just didn't know if I should be paranoid yet.
Yep. No worries.
But-
you can definitely be paranoid, and
I mean, it works pretty well for Shiana.
Like, and if Rye was like,
That's what I'm
Captain,
saying.
this makes me feel weird, Bianca would be like, okay, noted, but we're still gonna help.
Yeah.
That's fine. If we're staying in the same system, it's a different thing. If we were
Yeah,
like,
we're staying in the same
okay,
system.
cool, never mind.
Yep.
But yeah, is there like any kind of like biohazard gear we should bring?
You all do have environment suits that you could bring down. Basically biohazard suits. Starfleet's standard issue environment suit would work in that circumstance.
I'm gonna
If it keeps out the vacuum of space, I'm sure it keeps out other things too.
That's fair. I'm just going to like if people want to bring them, they're welcome to. But I'm not gonna like make it a command.
Oh, and River just fell off the back of my chair because I was scratching her head. Sorry, baby. Okay. So, who all, if anybody, is bringing environment suits?
Just in case. Well, I mean, are we going to meet at other ships and then go down, or are we going to go straight down straight away?
The impression was straight down, straight away. If you guys want to change that, by all means, let me know.
Because
Yeah, my nerdy wife Plucker, totally wearing an environmental suit.
Is she going down with you?
I don't know. She's a scientist.
Yeah, no, she's welcome. She's also got anthropology, so that would be.
That's true.
I think unless told otherwise, Jonas will have one, but he won't be wearing it unless it's absolutely necessary.
Okay. Alrighty, then with no further ado, you all will transport down to the surface.
Whenever I say I'm bringing Shiana on a mission, I always assume Plakir is coming too.
Fair enough.
That's what I figured.
All right, I may need to refresh my page. Give me just a moment here, guys.
I'm surprised that there isn't like just like a mask or something.
A mask? Oh, well, yeah, a
Yeah.
mask would keep out anything airborne, but it wouldn't keep out like
You know, yeah.
other stuff.
If it's touch,
That's
blood,
fair.
bodily fluids. Although
Well-
Erica tells me
Oh
that
god, that
she's
stupid
pretty sure a
transporter sound isn't
spacesuit
on
would
repeat, is it?
protect you from pretty much anything.
Yeah.
Unless it's a space virus that transmits through radiation.
In which case, you're pretty much
You know.
fucked.
Yeah, well, you know. I was like, are there viruses that go through that? She's like, no, you're playing Star Trek. I was like, oh yeah, good point. I was
Right.
asking a real question.
Okay. So, this is the wrong screen. After all that, now I'm on the wrong frickin' screen. Hang on. Okay, the right screen was right next to it. That's better. All right, so y'all
Hey
beam
Don,
down.
real quick.
Yes.
Real quick. How do I minimize if I'm in STO? How do I minimize the screen and go back to my desktop?
Windows D.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
All right.
All right, so y'all find yourselves in a clearing in this camp. There are signs that a couple of fights have broken out. There are already some Starfleet medical personnel like beaming in, starting to set things up. A triage center is kind of already set up. And as the lot of you beam in, an officer white hair, Jesus, like a white lab coat, red hair, turns around to face you all. Bianca, do you want to describe Admiral Kalani Jar?
Oh, she's an admiral now.
She has a white streak through her auburn hair, and she is Trill. She's about 6 foot, green eyes with Trill spots going down the sides of her face. She has a medical tricorder attached to her hip, and is wearing 1-star Admiral bars. Or 2-star Admiral bars, sorry. And she turns around to face you, and because she was not expecting you, so she just kind of like blinks a little bit, and she goes, "I am Admiral Kalani Jar."
I'm Centurion Dahli. I'm with the USS Dauntless.
Ah, yes, the Dauntless.
And I will introduce everyone with me.
Okay, so Admiral, what your crews have discovered so far is whatever this medical emergency is, it's not contagious. There's no evidence of contagion in the food, the water, or the air. Aside from that, no.
Oh, sorry.
Like aside from that, you're just starting your scans and haven't really gotten a whole lot of information yet.
Well, we're just starting to assess what is going on down here. At least it looks like we don't have any active contagion. So it's not spreading, which is good. But so far we don't know much about it. We're still running preliminary scans on those affected.
Oh, Dawn, I forgot to say, I changed one of my specialties for genetics.
Okay. Yeah, I thought I. Okay. Duly noted.
Shanna nods at the admiral. It says, Admiral Centurion, how may I best assist?
Security, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Not much need for it here, unfortunately. But I guess you can keep watch.
Of course, I always am.
Jonas will give a little wave. Lieutenant Carden, where could you best use me?
Well, if you're a medic, we could definitely use you uh, to distribute medication.
I have some medical training thanks to the Centurion.
Well, we'll need all the hands, capable hands we can get.
Mm. Just because Jonas would like to listen for a moment.
Okay. What are you listening for specifically?
Specifically, Jonas would like to listen to the Admiral to gauge them on their how they are feeling about the situation, how they're handling it personally. Like if they're extremely worried but not showing it, it's something he wants to try and pick up.
Okay.
Is that possible or
Not really, because what you're talking about doing is empathy. It's not
all
quite
right.
how listening works.
Okay.
Well, you get the sense from her body language and her speech that she's not really overly concerned, especially since that there doesn't seem to be a contagion element to whatever's going on. Um, and you get the feeling that this is not her first rodeo in any respect.
Okay, if that's not something I can do, can I listen to the general area? Like the people, like the ones who are sick and I guess I'm just trying to find out whether or not if it's the people and how I don't even know what I'm trying to say right now. Crap.
I kind of get what you're
And
going with.
Don, can you check your personal messages real quick?
Yeah. The answer to your question is yes. Uh, I'm gonna have you elaborate on that though. Okay, Sarah.
What do you mean?
Well, I mean, yes, they can be with Jar's away team, and uh, beyond that, like, I'm gonna let you role play that
Okay,
individual out as well. Is that all right?
that's fine. That's fine.
So, uh, shoot, where are we at right now?
Trying
Sorry,
to describe a listen that I have no idea what I'm trying to say.
I kind of got
So,
the
like,
gist of where you were
so
going with
I'll
that.
like alternatively, like, just from the role play, and this could be like maybe this is not at all what Sarah intended, but from the role play, I felt like Admiral Czar is kind of unduly panicked. considering that there aren't these particular factors at play.
She's really not.
Okay, so like I said, like I just wanted to clarify
She was
because
just
like
confused about what you guys were doing there.
okay.
Yeah. On that note, Jonas, go ahead and make I'll say insight command roll.
All right.
I'm going to make the difficulty here 2.
I'm assuming my attunement focus will come into play here.
Yep.
All right. I'll get if everyone's okay with it, I'll grab I'll grab a momentum for an extra dice.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
4 successes. So y'all are maxed out on momentum. There is an illness going through this refugee camp. It's an illness of the mind, but also an illness of the body.
Okay.
I'm gonna move over to. Would I still address you as doctor or admiral?
Either.
Okay, I'm gonna move over to Dr. Jar and present her with the data pad that I had of just all of the baseline readings for her to compare.
Okay.
I took these when we first collected the refugees. Is it possible that it is some sort of virus due to the new environment or some sort of underlying genetic disorder?
I don't know if she has enough data for that. What does she have enough data to make that determination, Dawn?
I would say you guys don't have enough data to make that determination one way or another. That being said, if you wanted to collaborate on an insight medicine roll, you might be able to make a couple of conclusions.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I definitely would like to collaborate.
Hooray, medicine!
Quick question, because I don't very much remember the what we were told. Were we told that this is both the sickness of the mind and the body, or were we not told that?
No, that's just what you picked up from listening.
Okay, so after they do the rolls, I'll interject Jonas for a moment.
It's interesting that there might be a psychological component to this. None of our initial readings really revealed anything like that. But I suppose it is possible.
It's as an Elorian, I have the ability to listen to the universe, and that's just something that came up. The feeling that I got.
Elorian, you're probably older than I
am. I don't know. Maybe.
This is my 4th lifetime.
Out of character, is it widely known how long the lifespan a Trill host has?
I would say yes. Barring, disease, war, what have you.
What would that
Having
be?
your
Because I, as
contract
a
ended
person,
in the 6th season.
What would that lifespan be?
The hosts live to be about 120 or so?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
100, 120.
Okay.
About the same as humans. So you can kind of get an average that Jar is probably, the symbiont is probably, has been through at least 350, 60 ish years of hosts.
Oh god, and this is where I blank on how old I made Jonas.
Older than that.
Oh god. Okay. I am older than you. That's a surprise. But if there's any way I can be of any more assistance, please don't hesitate to ask.
And that it's at that moment when a crewman.
I'll let Jar take the lead, and I'll assist.
Okay.
Okay, but when Jonas says that, a crewman comes up to Jar, and you notice that he has spots down the side of his face as well, but his ears are pointed. And he just says to her, he says that he says, Mom, everything's set up. And everything should be working properly. Do you want me to report back to the ship? And Jar just kind of she kind of shakes her head and she goes, well, do you have enough people down here to make sure everything stays working? And he kind of like shrugs and tilts his head to the side and he goes, not really.
Welcome to Starfleet, kid.
And then and she turns to Jonas and she goes, do you have anybody that has any technical aptitude? We're gonna need someone to help keep our equipment working.
Actually, I do.
Oh, good. This is Surreal, my son.
Do I see a rank on his uniform?
He's just a crewman.
Okay. Say his name again.
Saril, Saril.
Nice to meet you, Surreal.
And he goes, sir? And he just shakes your hand.
All right. Lead the way, and I'll do what I can to help.
Well, right this way.
All right, and Jonas will follow.
Okay. Spending 2 threat. Shiana, give me an insight security check with your constantly watching talent.
With what talent?
Your constantly watching talent applying? And your ground tactics focus. Okay. I didn't state the difficulty, so I'll give you guys that one. Give you all that one. Sorry. I keep saying you guys, and I keep wanting to break that habit.
Y'all.
Exactly, right?
Y'all is perfect.
You're not sure exactly what caused the altercation that has suddenly erupted near one of the refugee tents, Shiana, but there's a fist fight between 2 of the Felothrix refugees, and it looks like it's about to erupt into a brawl.
All right, headed there at a run.
Takes you very little time to reach it. The refugee camp isn't all that large.
Okay, so first thing I do is attempt to like physically separate the 2 people.
Okay.
Hands on chests, like.
Yep. They have already tossed a couple blows at each other, so what I'm going to have you do is roll daring security. And I'm going to set the difficulty here at 3.
Can I take a momentum, y'all?
Oh yeah, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
I'm actually, if you're okay with it, I'm going to have Dr. Pierce try to assist.
Cool, yeah.
Not that you needed the help. with 5 successes. Okay.
Use that floating momentum.
The two of you intercede yourself in between the two of them, who and as soon as you step in between them, they both kind of blink as though they weren't entirely sure what they had been doing a moment ago. And Dr. Pierce runs up right behind you and says, "Is everyone all right? Is everyone calm?"
So Shiana would know like at least a couple, like a few phrases in Felothrix
Mhm.
because of her time on the station.
Yes, she would.
So maybe she says something in terms of like, calm down, everybody, it's okay.
That being said, if these refugees speak Felothrix, it is a much older dialect because of their 5 centuries. It's because of their familial separation.
Oh, that's right.
They actually speak better Zealand than they do Felothrix.
Ugh.
Yeah. But as soon as you've separated them, as soon as you put a hand on them that wasn't a fist, they kind of like blank, almost as if clearing their heads, and just kind of wander off. Dali, let me have you and uh, you and Admiral Jar make your insight medicine rolls. And
All
Dali,
right.
you said you were assisting?
Yep.
Okay.
So, Sarah, go ahead and make your
Insight medicine. Yes. Yes.
yeah
Yes.
yeah yeah yeah
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Sorry, I should have had you guys roll it. Had y'all roll it with focus, but it didn't make a difference on Jar's roll. And Dali, your xenobiology and xenopsychology focuses apply.
It's rolling. It's just taking its time.
Okay.
Please roll 20.
There it is.
Wow.
Did I give
You
you all the
suck.
difficulty on that?
No.
Okay. I had meant to make it a difficulty 3. In this case, I will give y'all success at a cost if you want to spend 2 momentum or give me 2 threat.
Sure.
I'm good with spending momentum.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do the spin momentum.
Because we still have like a bunch floating from Shiana, right?
Yeah, that's true. I'll let you use that. Okay. So, what ends up happening is Kalani, given the information that you get from Jonas, that this is both psychological and physical, the first thing that comes to your mind is drug withdrawal.
Is what, sorry?
Drug withdrawal.
And that's when Kalani just kind of like raises her eyebrows and have we calmed down the altercation yet, or
It calmed down almost as soon as it started. Kalani has not seen anything quite like it. Like, breaking up fights is something Safan has tried to do in the past, and half the time it ended up with a Vulcan nerve pinch.
right? She's going to scan one of them or both of them actually.
Okay.
While this is happening, can I make some kind of roll to see if an idea I have is correct?
Yes. So
Okay.
Kalani's going to roll reason medicine.
Okay.
Dali, depending on the nature of your idea, I'm going to say either insight medicine or insight science.
All right, I'm gonna PM you my idea.
Okay. Okay, got the difficulty on the reason medicine. Actually, got it with +1. Okay, and Dali, go ahead and make your roll.
All right, is that insight medicine?
I'm going to say insight science.
Would xenopsychology or neurology still apply?
Yes.
All right, I'm gonna take an extra dice for moment,
Okay.
or extra. Sorry, spend a momentum for an extra dice.
Yep.
We got you.
Three successes.
Okay. And y'all please ask me for the difficulty because I keep forgetting it tonight.
Sorry.
No, that's fine. That was going to be difficulty 2, so I'll give you all the momentum back on that one. All right, so Jar, to the results of your roll, you were doing a medical scan. What were you looking for?
If if her suspicions that it could be drug withdrawal were correct.
They are absolutely correct. It is drug withdrawal.
Can I tell what kind of drug they're withdrawing from?
Given your successes and Jar's history, the chemical markers, if the behaviors are very much like uh, uh, very much like an amphetamine or an opioid type drug, but the chemical markers resemble Ketracel white withdrawal.
She kind of furrows her brow, and because she's definitely seen Ketracel white withdrawal.
Yep.
With her service in the Dominion War.
Yep.
And she just she looks over, or she shows the readings to Dali, and she goes, "They're definitely withdrawing from something, but it shows the markers of Ketracel white withdrawal, similar to what we saw in the Dominion War with Jem'Hadar, who had gone without white."
Perhaps it was something New Zealand gave them?
That's a possibility, especially if these people were slave labor. But why would it look so much like Ketracel white? That was genetically used solely and created for the Jem'Hadar.
Perhaps New Zealand came across them at some point?
Well, they're not anywhere close in terms of geographically or spatially speaking.
You can't get much further away from the Dominion than you are right now.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it's a similar drug, but like I said, I haven't seen readings like this since the Dominion War.
Just because it's Ketracel white does not or has properties similar to Ketracel white does not mean that it is necessarily from the same origin. It could just have similar properties.
Yeah, except white is so unique. We've never seen anything like it before or since.
Perhaps some sort of piracy trade?
Potentially, the Zealand could have gotten their hands on something on white and modified it somehow. But white is extremely difficult to work with. It can't be replicated, can't be recreated. Only the Dominion knows how to make it.
Hmm.
Well, no matter. I can at least start treating these people. We can figure out what the Zealand have been up to later.
Question: have Jem'Hadar ever been assimilated?
Not to my knowledge.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no recorded interaction between the Dominion and the Borg.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. The
Yeah,
Dominion is kind of like, no thanks.
Yeah,
Because the Borg,
if there had
the
been
Borg,
half the
the way
galaxy
the
would be on
Borg
rack.
are expanding, they're expanding down into the Beta Quadrant. They're not expanding out into the Gamma Quadrant, really, at all.
So they're like, ooh, delicious humans.
um, I will. I'm also going to explain the meme virus that we encountered,
Mhm.
and let Jar know that it seems like this does not have anything to do with that.
But like a just in case sort of thing.
Yeah, like this is a thing that we encountered that they may have had exposure to. But it doesn't seem like anything that's presenting is similar to what happened.
Yeah, well, we'll definitely inoculate them against that, just in case. But we need to be. This is systemic withdrawal. That's affecting these people. It has nothing to do with any virus or anything else. So that should at least make it easier and quicker for us to treat.
There is one complicating factor. And that is without the exact chemical compound, it's going to be difficult, if not impossible, to develop like an antivenin, basically. Like you can
So it
treat the
might just have to
symptoms,
be
but you
a.
can't treat the disease unless you can get hold of the compound that was actually used.
Is it so? Their withdrawal is just going to have to be written out if they can't be given
If it doesn't kill
something.
them.
Yeah. Blood samples.
Oh, what about them?
No, I'm asking. I'm asking Jar.
We've been taking a few, yes.
May I run some tests?
Of course.
All right. I want to do a full genetic breakdown. See if there's any trace of any of this drug left in the system. All that kind of stuff.
Okay. You're going to do
I
that
can help
here,
you with
or
that.
I guess that would be a here, yes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I would like to, if I could do it back on the ship, I would, but we're here now, and I brought as much as I could with.
And
Well,
by this...
and Kalani's flotilla. This is what they do. They basically are able to set up full field hospitals with all the tech that you would need,
Okay.
so they can operate outside of the starship without having to risk bringing people onto the starship and contaminating the ship.
I'm also gonna tell Shiana about that and see if she can find any remnants anywhere.
Remnants of what now?
The drug, like if anyone
Gotcha.
has any stashed or anything like that. Like if people are fighting, maybe they're fighting over the last little bit that's left.
Gotcha.
Centurion, I have to say that I think it was probably the Zealand who provided this drug.
I mean, that much is clear.
Yes, so finding a sample of it would mean getting onto a Zealand ship.
Well, that's not an option at this point, Commander. We need to see if there's any available here. These people don't have a lot of time.
Understood. I'm going to call down a few of my officers, and we'll do a thorough sweep of the camp.
Okay. I'm not going to have you guys roll for. I'm not going to have you all roll for that. What I am going to do is, let's see. You wanted to run a battery of tests on the blood samples, so let's do that as reason medicine.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Is it okay if I take the lead?
Go ahead. And
Okay.
Kalani will assist. She has a focus, so.
Yeah, you both do.
Reason medicine.
And the difficulty here is going to be. I'm going to make it 4. I'm going to make it difficult.
All right. I'm going to use determination, if that's cool.
Okay.
And either use my value, we are stronger together, or everyone deserves a second.
I would say we are stronger together works. So you have 1 automatic critical success.
Hooray!
That's 4. And Kalani's assist. That's 5. Nicely done. Doing detailed blood work, doing the detailed analysis of the blood samples, you all are able to determine the chemical markers aren't just similar to ketracel white withdrawal. They are, for all intents and purposes, identical. Now, that being said, ketracel white is normally poisonous to non-Jem'Hadar. So whatever chemical this is having the exact same effect on a completely different species.
How is that possible?
Can Kalani roll to see if she can figure out the answer to that question?
You have a bonus momentum, so
Oh, okay.
With that, I'll actually give it to you. The chemical would have to have been engineered in a manner similar to the engineering of ketracel white itself. Now, without
But is
having
it based on white?
What's that?
Is it based on white?
Without having a sample, you can't be sure.
But it seems very similar.
It seems identical. If these were Jem'Hadar, it would be a textbook case of white withdrawal.
And Kalani just kind of shakes her head and she goes, "Never thought I'd run into this stuff again."
Do we have any Jem'Hadar in the system on any of our ships?
No.
What I'm afraid of is that if this were withdrawal from something like amphetamines or opioids, it would be fine, but withdrawal from white is fatal. At least in Jem'Hadar.
Given the blood samples and the symptoms of withdrawal that you're seeing, you estimate that these refugees have 3, maybe 4 weeks.
Weeks? Did you say weeks?
Yes.
Okay.
That brings up the question, what's going to happen to the ones who headed in a different direction?
There's only one doctor that has even tried to cure Ketracel White withdrawal. And he's no longer in Starfleet.
If it's Bashir, he just came back into Starfleet. We're at the...
Well, to Kalani's knowledge, he's not in anymore.
Gotcha.
You mean Dr. Bashir?
Yes, Dr. Julian Bashir, Chief Medical Officer of Deep Space Nine.
I'm rather familiar with Dr. Bashir.
Oh, okay. I never met him, but I've read his research. Very, very insightful for a human as young as he was.
Dahlia gets this like look on her face. He managed to remove all of my implants without any issue.
Implants.
I was a drone.
Oh. I had no idea.
His work was rather precise.
I'll say. Well, is there any way you could get into contact with him?
I can attempt to. I know that he's rather busy.
I'd imagine so. But if he can send over any research, that would be incredibly helpful.
I'm gonna find a way to do that. I'm gonna send him an email.
I'm going to cut to the bridge. Actually, not to the bridge, to the ready room. Unless Bianca would be on the bridge right now.
She would be on the bridge. No reason why she wouldn't be, I guess.
Okay. Then I'm going to cut to the bridge. There's an incoming communication.
On screen.
It's marked your eyes only.
Of course it is.
On screen anyway? Because that's how we fucking do this.
On the armrest.
On the armrest. It's audio only, actually. But it's because it's for your eyes only and it's audio only because I am just fucking on fire tonight. Literally. Bianca, it's Varric. I have a lead. DSS 053 system. How soon can you be there?
Is it like a recording or is it?
No, it's live.
Well, I currently have half my senior staff on the surface of the Fellathrix.
Fellathrix, what's going on?
Apparently there's some medical emergency.
I'll wait as long as I can.
Be there soon. I'll be there. There's several ships in the system here. They can take care of my people.
Duly noted.
And Bianca is going to Captain West to Commander Darrow.
Darrow, I hear.
Shiana, I need you back up here. We're leaving the system.
Yes, Captain, on my way up. And Shiana raises an eyebrow at Plakir or Dathi or whoever is next to her at that particular moment. But okay, here I go.
Are you recalling anybody else, Bianca, or is that going to be it?
That'll be it.
Okay.
Are you letting the rest of us know that you're leaving?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm sending a communique.
Okay.
Don't let whoever takes my spot crash the ship. I will be very unhappy.
With that, I will at least make sure that the EMH goes back aboard so that there's some.
Someone who can treat injuries? Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you, Dali. And of course, Jonas, I will not anyone crash the ship. And Shiana looks at Plakir, and there's an unspoken moment between them of goodbye for now.
A quick peck on the lips. And
Okay, if we're doing that, then yes.
If you manage to come across any New Zealand ships, keep your eye out for whatever this is.
Shiana's expression hardens. Of course. You know that I don't tolerate slavers.
I remember the well. And you just get like kind of an impish smile.
And with that being said, you are encased in the transporter beam, Shiana, and a moment later you find yourself on the Dauntless's bridge.
Good to have you back. Commander Rye, bring up everything we have on the DSS 053 system.
All right, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull that up myself here so that I can tell you.
Aye, Captain. He turns over and starts bringing up the information.
No.
There's no native civilization in the DSS 053 system. However, there is ship traffic that goes in and out of the system, which would indicate the likely presence of a small trading outpost. An away team from one of the other ships in the task force describes the outpost as reminiscent of Paradise City on Nimbus 3.
Oh no, thank you.
That's not a good recommendation right there.
Right? It's seedy.
0.5 stars out of 5.
Would not recommend.
What is that
Just
one
keep
Yelp?
slipstreaming.
What is that one Yelp review? I got it, which was good. The 3 out of 5 stars.
I don't know.
It's really funny.
I'm going to send a communique back to Valrek. Basically, I want to rendezvous with the Shroud somewhere and have the Shroud take us in because Dauntless is a little conspicuous.
No, we're just gonna come in with the flagship of the Karina fleet. You know, no big.
Just meet somewhere outside the system and then the Shroud can take us in.
Okay, yeah, you send them a set of coordinates and you'll be there almost as soon as the communique is. I'm assuming y'all are traveling at Slipstream.
Yes.
And at what point am I being read in on what this mission is?
In a minute.
Impatient, I know.
Does anybody need to roll for the slipstream
I'm not gonna have anyone roll since you're not there. It doesn't seem like it would be fair to you.
Plus, Bianca can do it from her command chair if she really wanted to.
True.
I mean, true. But where's the fun in that?
But no, she'll brief both. Not so much brief as just like give the quick and dirty to both Rye and Shiana.
Okay. The quick and dirty being.
Um, so she's going to talk to them individually.
Uh-huh.
So she's going to talk to Shiana first.
Okay. In a ready room, I presume?
No, just kind of at her
Oh, okay.
console in
Okay,
hushed
gotcha.
tones. So Talia's been missing for 2 weeks.
Talia, for background character knowledge, is the Shroud's chief tactical officer. She's basically Shiana's counterpart on the Shroud.
Shanna raises her eyebrow with an unspoken, "As I suspected and told you."
Yeah, you can tell me you told me so later. But the thing is that I should have been brought into the loop at least a week ago.
And what intelligence do we have now that's taking us here?
Challenge with the two of these.
Varric just...
We're gonna stealth, I believe, against hacking.
Varric said
We'll
that
stealth
he had
against
a lead.
Mr. Renown right here.
He didn't give me anything else.
Oop, didn't see that.
We can all hear
That's
you,
fine.
Rye.
Oh, I'm sorry. There you go. She demanded that I play Game of Thrones against her, so.
Oh, no worries. But
So that's basically the conversation that Bianca has with Shiana.
And what are your orders for me, Captain?
Right now we're just gathering reconnaissance. I have no idea what Talia's role is in all of this. Willing, unwilling, I don't know. She's always been a bit of a firecracker, but I've never known her to abandon her post.
Do you have any personal profile information that I could read before?
Of course, I'll give you everything.
Thank you, Captain.
okay.
And Varric's given me all of his, reviews on her, performance reviews and everything that he's ever written on her from the times we've served together. So I'll have you read over that as well.
Of course, I know her only by reputation, Captain, but her reputation is spotless.
I wouldn't say spotless, but like I said, I've never known her to abandon her post or go AWOL. I've always known her to be principled and always do the right thing in the end. But I won't say that she's always been a saint.
Captain, as an investigator, of course, I can't make assumptions, but considering your statement of principled, don't you think that that tracks with the thus Evertus labors?
Yes, but like I said, I never known her to abandon her post. And she was loyal to that crew. We've been through a lot together. She's watched my back more than once. I couldn't imagine that she'd go. I wouldn't imagine that she'd go behind it for any reason.
Understood, Captain. And Shanna nods. I will figure out what is happening.
Good. And then Bianca's going to go over to Rye.
Who's probably heard most of this already because of his Romulan hearing.
I will,
With
of
as
course,
big as that
pretend like I
bridge-
didn't hear a damn thing.
Well, as big as that bridge is, I'm not sure.
That's
Unless
fair.
you're standing in that one place where the acoustics make the sound go to the one place, you know.
You know,
because
these ears,
tactical
they're
and
not just for
science are
looks,
usually on
ladies.
opposite sides of the bridge. So
My ears aren't just for looks, ladies.
such a lady.
I
For
mean,
once, the size of your ears matter. Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. And then she's
You know what
just
they
gonna
say
go.
about Romulans with big ears? They can hear really well.
They're for listening. All your problems.
Dying. Oh my gosh.
And Bianca says the chief tactical officer of the Shroud has been missing for 2 weeks. She's Orion, and we got an automated message in Orion text at the end of the last mission, so I can't count out the possibility that she might be involved in whatever's going on. But her captain has has said that he's found a lead, so we're rendezvousing with the Shroud to see if we can figure out what's going on here. I'm going to need your insights.
I'm sorry. I thought you weren't talking to my character. Were you?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
I'm
she
talking
was.
to you.
I was over here doing dishes. Like, oh, okay. We're not talking to me yet. We're talking about me listening. I hope you did not just pour your heart and soul out to my character. Be like, oh, I'm sorry. Please repeat that. I'm so sorry. I am paying attention.
No, she just told Bri that basically just the business end of all the facts, which is the chief tactical officer of the USS Shroud has gone missing and has been missing for 2 weeks. And given the fact that she's Orion and we received a Orion automated message at the end of the last mission, means that she could be connected somehow, and we're investigating a lead that the Shroud has, and we're rendezvousing with them to investigate.
I see, Captain. Well, do we have any reason to suspect that this tactical officer had any co-conspirators aboard the Shroud?
I served with that entire crew on the USS Legacy back during the Klingon Wars, and we were like a family. Not that I would know of. This seems out of character for Talia, even unless she got roped into it somehow. I'm not sure how this all fits.
Has the so this is the security officer back on board?
Yeah, she was briefed first.
Gotcha. So perhaps the lieutenant commander and I, as neutral parties in this situation, might be able to investigate over on the Shroud. I am most interested in checking out her console or her living quarters. I'm sure between this, the lieutenant commander and I, we can do a very thorough investigation.
Agreed. That's why I decided to bring you guys with me.
Captain, if there's anything you're known for, it's wise decisions in deciding personnel.
I'm glad you think so.
I do.
Well, you should be rendezvousing with the Shroud in just a few minutes.
My character, what I will do is I'm going to, when the captain walks away or when I have a moment, I'm going to pull up the security officer's personnel file, look for anything that may seem out of the ordinary. What I'm kind of saying is looking for Section 31 contacts or stuff like that. So that's what I will do.
Okay.
once given the opportunity.
Once given kind of access to our personnel file.
Well, yeah, I assume I can find,
Yeah.
probably, and if not, I'm sure the captain will type in her code to at least let me look at her
Right.
her profile. Yeah, I would ask the captain to give me quote unquote unrestricted access to her personnel in case there's anything like, she was involved in some cool classified mission during the Klingon War.
I mean, Legacy's mission during the Klingon War was largely classified.
Gotcha. Well, then
They were
I will
all
ask
largely
her in
classified,
regards
but
to.
but I can give you clearance.
Yeah, just because I'm looking for anything I can. So specifically, I don't care what happened during the Klingon War in regards to what happened but any connection she might have made, things like that.
Gotcha.
So I'm going to do the computer end, look for that kind of stuff.
Okay. Let's have you make a roll here now. We'll do reason security.
Gotcha. I don't have it pulled up, so someone's going to have to roll for me.
Okay, I'll go ahead and make the roll then.
Is the ship's computers helping me since I'm looking stuff up with the computers?
I would say yes.
Cool. I will be able to re-roll a D20 because I have a technical expertise.
Yep. Okie doke.
And this may or may not count. That depends on how we want the focus to apply. And maybe it both work. I have forensics. That could either be computer forensics or it can be real forensics. Either one works for me if you want them to apply to both. That's my specialization I think would apply here.
I'm going to go with forensics on this. Yeah. Shiana, do you want to assist with this? Or, Rye, do you want Shiana's assistance on this?
I have, so my looking for Section 31 irregularities, I'm not going to use the computer for that. I'm using my training to spot that right now.
Gotcha.
So I have no reason for the captain to not look. If I see huge red flags, my character will have a moral quandary of whether or not I tell her.
Okay.
But that sounds like great drama. And also, too, I figure she's going to be over my shoulder for the most every now and again. I'll be like, oh, what happened here and all that business.
So in that case, we'll do reason security. For this part of the search, the computer is going to assist.
Cool. And if it rolls crappy, you get to re-roll it.
Yep. And focus applies. And I'm going to set the difficulty here at 2, if I didn't say that already.
That's fine. That's fine. So I'm rolling 2 dice. The captain's helping me. What's our momentum looking like right now?
Well, I actually just made the roll.
That's fine.
On your behalf.
I haven't seen it. I was like, I can't see it, so I don't know what the result is if nobody tells me.
No, you just got the 2 successes. If someone does want to roll for the Dauntless, it'll be computers security.
Well, I can do that. I've got it pulled up.
Okay.
One success from the ship.
Okay.
Sounds good. No need to push luck.
Yep. No, you made the roll with room to spare.
Is the security officer or the captain helping? Whichever.
I think no. I think we're gonna go with no on this one.
Okay, that's fine. Then cool. Then so, I'm not making any attempts to hide what I'm doing because all of my clandestine stuff is in my head right now.
So, Rye, I mean, just between you and me, kind of like a little bit outside what we're doing, I think that there's a definite separation between what Rye and Shiana are doing. Rye is definitely taking the forensic approach, right?
Yep.
And I think Shiana is taking a more emotional, interrogative approach to the records that she's going through.
I think, and Shiana will be taking lead on the investigation, at least on the Dauntless's side. But Rye can break into computers and stuff because science officers can do that.
Yep. Folks,
she's totally
right
in charge.
Back,
yeah. Cool. Yeah, I have no problem with that. Yeah. I'm the tech guy in all the cop movie or all the cop shows.
Hey, the tech guy is very important.
Exactly. Yeah. There's.
They couldn't do anything without the tech guy.
Yeah. Incidentally, if we get into a fight, I ain't that bad either. But.
Oh, but also I now have a Botleth as one of my
Exactly. Yeah. All
Yeah.
I have is my pad, and I've been waiting to use that as a weapon. Like literally, I've been waiting for the opportunity to just, because if you've noticed, I always talk about very emphasis, like I always have a pad or something in my hand.
You know, maybe smashing like a Ferengi over like upside, you know, like one side of their ear or something. I feel like that would be effective there.
Yeah, I gotta need a. I gotta if it comes up in play, I'll tell you why I came up with it. And but I'm gonna hold that to the chest until it hopefully comes up. I was hoping during our last combat, I'm surrounded by a bunch of scientists. Oh yes, I got my pad. like oh, that's my weapon, not a phaser. I don't use real weapons. Improvised. So, how was everybody's week so far?
All right, y'all, I'm back.
Oh, never mind. He's back. We're good.
What'd I miss?
We were just talking, but then I didn't know when you were coming back, so I was like, "Oh, how's everybody doing?" And right when I finished that sentence, you were like, "Hey, okay, I'm back." I'm like, "All right, well, I don't care about anybody else. Whatever. Let's get to it. Sounds good."
Okay. So we will have you all rendezvous with the. Come on, Brandon, use your words. With the shroud. Let's see how we're doing this. No, we'll just drop you all right onto this map, I think. In a high orbit, kind of out of the way, we'll say.
Oh yeah, I got 2 successes. I got 3 successes on that roll. What did I get? We didn't.
Right. No ties to any agents that you're aware of, or no ties to any Section 31 agents that you are aware of.
Can I?
Nothing that
Go
kind
ahead.
of pings your Romulan radar.
Gotcha. Can I spend a? So I have an extra success.
You do. You have a bonus momentum.
I would like to spend 2 momentum to create an advantage of the security officer. I forget the character's name.
Talia.
But call Alea's.
Talia.
Or Talia's. Like call it. We know her life backwards and forwards. So then, if we make any checks regarding to maybe people she's worked with in the past or whatever, like we know her. Me and the security team know her profile like the back of our hand. In case there, maybe if we run into anything we run into that could have quote unquote her signature behavior or connections, we can use that advantage toward. If that's what I'd like.
Okay. So
that's
anything
right.
relating to searching for her, I could give y'all kind of an edge in difficulty.
Yeah, because like we've done our job. We did a thorough job. I give everyone a dossier. Probably on the trip, we had a quick meeting about it.
I'd say that's worth of momentum spend. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, and Bianca knows.
Bianca definitely knows. Yes.
Cool. Then yeah. So she's. I would say for plot purposes or narrative purposes, we probably have a brief scene where we've got the PowerPoint. We're like, this is the person. Da, 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 da. So everyone on the security team, i.e., and everybody else, has that knowledge, so we can apply it. So we know where she went to prep school and all that. Back bull crap.
Yeah.
You never know when it's going to come up. We've all seen Criminal Minds.
Perfect, except for like the PowerPoint flashback to my like day job. But,
okay, excuse me. Holographic PowerPoint. It is the 24th century after all. So.
I guess.
No, I think that's perfect. So yes,
cool. Cool. I do that.
We're all read in. We all have as much information as we possibly can about Talia.
And so Bianca is going to beam over to the shroud with Rye and Shiana.
Okay, so Bianca's going over as well.
Yes.
Who are you leaving in command?
Beta shift.
Okay, Officer of the Watch it is. So, y'all transport over, and I do not have a bridge set up for the shroud itself, unfortunately.
Although the shroud doesn't have transporters on the bridge.
No, it doesn't, but Varek was expecting you, so he and the transporter officer are just standing by the transporter console.
Captain Santiago, I believe you know my officers, Lieutenant Commander Rye and Lieutenant Commander Shiana Darrow.
I do indeed.
Shannon
I
nods.
nod.
Captain.
Yep, there you go, Captain.
You notice the lighting is much lower on the shroud.
Yeah. The shroud is kind of like a submarine, both in terms of the aesthetic and like how it's put together. It feels very cramped compared to the Dauntless, and it's also very dark. Like this ship is built to run silent.
It reminds me, at least visually, of the Admiral ship in New Trek. The second one. I forget the name of it right now.
Yeah,
It was all
not
dark
nearly
and
as
dynamic.
Yeah.
The Vengeance, yeah. That's
Yeah.
what I'm imagining in my head.
Yeah,
but
except
smaller.
not nearly as big.
Yeah. So
Yeah, it's
NX
small,
Enterprise
it's
era
sleek.
bridge.
If
with
anything,
even
it's
more
kind of
dramatic lighting.
built like a B-2 stealth bomber. Like from the exterior,
Cool.
it kind of has that look to it.
Okay, Shiana is going to request access to Talia's quarters.
Go ahead.
And I'd like Lieutenant Commander Ryan to look at Talia's station on the bridge.
Varek nods. All right.
So I will approach the console, but before I do a quick scan of the bridge. And we don't necessarily have to roll it if it doesn't matter, but I'm being paranoid and watching everyone's expression and stuff like that. So we can roll, or we can just roll when it matters. So I'm being paranoid.
So one thing I am going to note about the crew's like kind of disposition at the moment. One is going to stick out to you, and that is the operations officer. He's a short, slight of build Trill, and he is like everybody else seems like they're at least trying to project that they're okay, that this isn't really affecting them, but he's not having such good luck.
And then the question is, outside of if roll notwithstanding, would I notice that, and do I notice anyone else looking?
Narratively,
I'm looking for. Go ahead.
I'll say narratively that is something that you notice. He's a little bit uneasy
and distracted.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. Well, I won't say anything at this point in time, but I will head over to the console. Type in, just start looking for stuff.
Okay. Give me just a moment here.
I'm sure they've already looked. Actually, I'll turn to the replacement tactical / security officer and kind of work with him. Like, what have you already done? Can I see that report? Mm-hmm. And any holes? And I'll probably redo their work anyway, just to make sure it matches up. And anything that they didn't do that I can think of, I will do.
Okay. So let me have you give me a reason science roll.
All right. Reason science. Again, you'll have to roll that for me. I didn't.
Okay.
My girlfriend, we went for a walk, and then we played the card games.
Oh, no worries, no worries. The difficulty here, I'm going to I'm going to set this as very difficult. It's going to be difficulty 4.
Gotcha. Am I using the ship's computers to help me?
I'll say yes.
Cool. My next question will be, since this is I would say, a very important role, I would like to use my determination and say the numbers don't lie.
Okay.
Like I'm looking, I'm being very forensic in this regard.
Okay, so you'll get
all that.
an automatic critical success from that.
Yeah. Cool. And you will, you know what? Well, I'm curious if the advantage I created will apply. If it does or doesn't, you can tell me that before or after the roll.
I'll say that this is related to your hunt for Talia. So yes, I'll lower the difficulty by 1 to 3.
Cool. All right, then I will. So I'm rolling reason plus science. I'm pretty good at that. It's like I'm a science officer. Does forensic apply?
Yes.
Forensics? Cool. What's our momentum status right now?
5.
5. I'll spend a point of momentum to get an extra die.
Okay.
Cool. Go ahead and roll that for me, sir.
All right. So 2 successes plus your crit makes 4. Plus. Oops. Wrong roll from the.
Yeah. If the computers fail, I get a reroll.
Okay. Do you want to re-roll one from the computer from the shroud?
If it did not get a success, I will re-roll. If it got a success, I'm not risking trying to get a critical. We've already got plenty, right?
It rolled a natural 1 on the re-roll, so
nice.
That is 6 successes.
I will take it. So 3 over. Cool. Then I do my thing.
The system has been thoroughly scrubbed, but you recognize the method that was used to scrub it.
Is the scrub on the log? Did they scrub it, as in the officers during their investigation to maintain their confidentiality, or did someone else do it?
Someone else
I
did
use
it.
in.
Someone
Cool,
else
gotcha.
did it using Starfleet intelligence protocols.
Gotcha. Cool. But of course, Starfleet intelligence is sloppy, and I would find a way around that because,
There are fragments left over, and including a fragment of a message. You're not able to retrieve the body of the message, but the headers indicate that it was sent from. Oh shoot, Sarah, what was the name of that admiral you gave me again?
Welling.
It was sent from Admiral Welling at Starfleet Intelligence.
So that was scrubbed by, I assume, to be someone, either Talia herself or someone.
To Talia herself.
Gotcha. So by Admiral Welling, and the subject was again.
That was mostly corrupted, but you do
Gotcha.
but you do make out the word Zealand.
Zealand. Okay, I make note of this in my pad. And is there anything else I noticed as well?
There is one more thing.
Yes, sir.
It looks like the captain was copied on the message.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. So what I'm going to do, armed with this information, we should be full up on momentum because I got 3 additional successes. Am I right?
Yep.
Cool. I am going to, because I'm a paranoid motherfucker. Excuse me, my apologies. A paranoid Romulan. And I will send this information via. I assume we all brought a tricorder with us, even the captain, right?
Yeah, they're standard issue.
Cool. I will send this information via the tricorder to as privately as possible to our security officer and the captain.
Okay.
and I will let them make the decision of what they want to do with it.
Okay, so we're going to skip down to Talia's quarters, which is where Shienna is now, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so tell me what you are up to at this point.
First, just trying to get a feel for what personal things are in the space or not in the space compared to, kind of what like this kind of average is for Starfleet officers.
Okay. Given your in-depth knowledge of Talia's profile, Sarah could probably tell you what kind of personal effects Talia has. Uh,
Oh, that would be great. So, so if I could make an assessment of if there are things that are obviously missing.
I will tell you that from the personal effects list that Sarah could give you, nothing is obviously missing. In
Nothing
fact,
what?
nothing seems to be missing from Talia's quarters. At least not at first glance. Give me a reason security roll. The difficulty here is going to be 3.
Do I have any focuses that apply?
Almost without looking, I'm going to say yes, but let me check.
Probably not. I'm very combat focused.
Yeah, no, just as a one-off, I'm going to let your ground tactics focus apply here. Three successes, nice. Okay, so on a more thorough search of the quarters, everything is kind of in place. Not necessarily orderly, like you couldn't imagine yourself being in quarters like these because things aren't. Talia's not exactly a neat freak. Does that make sense? Like, it's not
Yeah.
one place for everything and everything in its place. But nothing looks missing. And in fact, Talia's communicator is on her nightstand.
And in fact, there's probably like workout clothes and stuff on the floor.
Yeah.
So.
Question.
Okay.
Just generally, for Shienna, does she I don't know how Orion phones work.
She was taking. So, character knowledge here, and something you would have seen as part of her dossier. She took medical treatments to suppress her pheromones. But it doesn't look like she took any of that with her either.
So it's temporary medical things. She took like a pill. She didn't get descented or
like
whatever.
It's a daily injection, basically.
Yeah. She's got to take meds. If she's off her meds, she's just as Orion-y as any other Orion female. Gotcha. Cool.
And she currently left her pills behind.
By all accounts, she did not take her medication with her.
So Shienna picks up that communicator from the nightstand and sort of just feels it, looks at it, and is trying to get into the head of another security officer.
A security officer, Shienna, who by this point can probably make just about any male in the quadrant do whatever she wants.
That also gives me an idea if we're worried about co-conspirators. Remind me in case it comes up.
So is Bianca with me, or am I in the quarters on my own?
That's a good question. Bianca, where are you?
Bianca is on the bridge.
Okay.
Okay, so Shiana's just poking around these quarters on her own.
Actually, no. I take that back. Bianca probably would have gone with Shiana to her quarters to offer insights on Talia.
That's a good call.
Yeah.
So Shiana has the communicator in her hand, and she turns around to Bianca and says, "Nothing strikes me as off, but also generally there's something off."
I don't know. It just looks like she left without planning, or she was taken.
How much of a planner is she? She's a planner. We're security officers. We plan.
I mean, she could be off the cuff, but when it came to duty, she knew what she was doing. She had the situational awareness. She was more spontaneous than I was, though. But you know me. I'm not exactly spontaneous.
No, you aren't. Is there anything that you would expect to see in here that you're not seeing? Smallest detail.
Can I do an insight roll then, I guess?
I'll let you piggyback off Shiana's success. I won't. You don't have to do another roll here. What are you looking for exactly?
I'm not really sure what Bianca would be looking for.
I mean, it doesn't. There are no signs of forced entry or forced exit. It doesn't look like a kidnapping. Or if there was, it didn't take place here.
Right, or if it did take place here, it would have been a transporter or something.
Right.
And the
But
fact
I
that
would assume that we would have scanned for electrostatic charges.
Well, and the fact that her communicator is here
On that note,
like dismisses, like again narrows, like reduces the idea of it being a kidnapping. I'm sorry, or
I mean,
I get the internal sensor logs for the day she went missing.
Talia got out of the uniform as soon as she could every single time she was off duty. So just because she wasn't wearing her communicator doesn't mean much. Like, her personal time was her personal time. Like, she was one of those couldn't get out of the uniform fast enough type of people.
I know that feeling.
Okay, any ideas what she was doing in her personal time?
Well, what she used to do was, I mean, we would hang out, we would spar, we would go on the holodeck together. She would play the Buster Kincaid to my Captain Proton. And just pretty normal stuff.
We need, okay, so I need the security logs and video now, because I mean, have we seen all of that yet, or no?
No.
Okay, so
like
now I want to.
Raya's gone through her security station, but no, the security logs and videos are not yet. No.
All right, so now
while I'm up there,
now's the time to do that.
So to Bianca looking through this room, Bianca can imagine two possibilities. One is that Talia was taken while she was sleeping or something, or that she left and she just didn't give a shit about the state of her room, which would have been in character for her.
My character, while doing this, the date she went missing, approximately the 48 hours surrounding that, I'm going to request the internal sensor and external sensor logs.
Okay.
In case there is it's going to be raw data that we probably will investigate later, but
yeah.
I get it.
Drex is more than happy to help out with that.
And then I mean, and Bianca's going to be asking obvious questions like, are all the shuttles still here? Like, have you met up with any other ships that she possibly could have slipped aboard? You know, that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Or who possibly could have slipped her aboard, you know.
Yeah.
So like we really need to be executing a complete internal investigation of the time frame surrounding the disappearance of Commander Talia.
She's still just a lieutenant.
Lieutenant, sorry. Okay. I assumed she was my peer.
Well, she is. She's just younger.
Assuming we get a time to communicate,
Mhm.
the three of us, before that time, if either they come to the bridge or not, I'm going to quote unquote scan the console. I'm totally not doing that. I am scanning the suspicious dude. I want just a basic medical scan of him, or at least a little in depth.
Which dude is the
Because
suspicious dude?
What'd you say?
Which dude is the suspicious dude? You mean Drex?
The guy you said who was
The Trill.
yeah, who seemed like off when I first got there.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm gonna scan him, and here's what my character is not necessarily as trained to do this. I'm gonna give it to the doctor later. I'm kind of looking to see if this guy has any residual effects of Orion pheromones, like if he was seduced into helping her, or blah 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 blah.
Gotcha.
Because he seems kind of, I don't know. And you know, my character, I know she's an Orion. She's supposed to be taking her meds. Was she not? Maybe this was the guy who kind of got the brunt of it. I don't know. So it's going to be quick scan. I'm scanning the console, but I'm really scanning that dude.
I won't make you roll for that. A quick scan, medical scan doesn't appear to indicate anything that might suggest he was affected by Orion pheromones. Just like any other drug, they leave trace elements in somebody's system. You don't detect those in his bloodstream.
Cool. Then I will, after I get that info, depending on if the captain's like, all right, we need to do a full blah, 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 I'll rendezvous with them.
Uh-huh.
And I assume the Shroud's crewmen are entirely cooperative. I take a copy of the investigative report, the sensor logs, and when we meet up again, we can talk about it.
They're as invested as y'all are in finding their tactical officer.
Yeah. I'm the paranoid one, so I assume people sometimes withhold things, but...
So, y'all basically reuniting on the bridge, or
wherever it is that we can comb through the security surveillance data.
Gotcha.
I'm sure we can do that in the briefing room.
The briefing room, an intelligence lab, you name it.
Yeah. Whatever works best.
We could do the intelligence lab.
Okay.
So
And,
I'll drop off information.
Yeah. Working in the intelligence lab is a female presenting non-binary character. Her uniform is all black. And she has long, dark brown hair. Looks kind of like Anna Kendrick.
Kinda.
And she just looks up as you come in.
Oh wow, she does.
And then she just offers her hand and she goes, "I'm Bex."
My name is Rye.
Well met.
Bex, I'm Shiana. We're investigating the disappearance of Lieutenant Talia.
All right, you're Bianca's crew.
Yes.
Please.
Bianca's standing conveniently outside the door.
please, use anything you need. Just let me know if you need anything.
As much computing power as you have, I believe we have quite a few hours, maybe a couple of days of security data that we're trying to comb through.
And about 30 minutes left on that window for Vorek's contact on world.
Well, then let's work quickly. Luckily, I'm good at that.
Varai will turn to Shiana. Commander, is it possible to request a few more hands from the Dauntless?
I'm going to say no on that because the Dauntless has already left the system.
Oh, well, then the answer is no.
Yep.
All right. Then are there... I will turn to Shiana then in that regard. Perhaps a few of the security officers might be able to assist us in getting this done. Because if we have that much info, if the two of us can handle it, cool. But if we need extra help, my character will recruit
and
people.
Bex will be helping you too. She's the intelligence, or they're the intelligence officer.
Commander Rye, I'm going to be... I'm going to say no, I don't want any of her officers working on this.
I will smile and kind of turn my tricorder so she could see it, that I have it on the medical setting. Like, that's a shame. You know, i.e. revealing to her I was going to scan everybody to make sure they're not alert or blah, blah, blah. Looks like they're up to no good.
Then
but the
again,
three of us, I'm sure.
But then again, it might be useful to ask a few questions. Do we have the time, though? What, we have half an hour?
It occurs to you, Shiana, you probably have a chance to question some of the crew when you got back.
When we get back from that rendezvous, is that what you mean?
Yes.
Okay, let's plan on questioning the rest of the security team after this.
Aye, aye, Commander. Your name was Drax again? Drax?
Oh, there's Drex and there's Bex.
No,
Bex,
no, here.
Lieutenant Mitchell. Lieutenant Bex Mitchell is the intelligence officer.
Bex, shall we get started?
Ready when you are.
All right. Let's start pouring through the security footage and all that other business. I'll focus on the sensor data, and I'll let the security and intelligence officers do their other inspections.
So, Bex, I think what we're looking for is anything outside the ordinary. Can we establish a normal routine from maybe the 2 weeks prior? And then run that through the computer?
That shouldn't be a problem. Talia was a creature of habit.
Most security officers are.
Sarah, just FYI, I've given you access to Bex's character sheet.
Okay, thank you.
So let's establish that baseline and compare it to the 48 hours previous to her disappearance.
Okay.
She had to go somewhere. I'll check the internal and external sensor logs. Something she couldn't have just vanished.
It's strange that there's not a shuttle missing.
Those cloaked ships, damn it.
And who is it that has cloaked ships?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Of course
From
you
here,
don't.
From here, it looks like a weather balloon. So yeah, I'm gonna do the internal and external sensor logs.
Okay.
I will specifically look for signs of a cloaked vessel, and I would love to invoke my Romulan trait. especially if it ends up being
Way of the
Romulan in
Dara,
that
yep.
regard.
All right.
Well, I mean, so specifically, I have my racial trait Romulan, which includes all the things that it takes to be Romulan. It's up to you if it applies, but I will invoke that when I roll.
Oh, definitely. Definitely applies. The difficulty here is going to be, again, difficult, but again, reduced by 1. So it's going to be 3. You've got assistance by way of Shiana and Bex.
Who's got? So what's? So
The
we're all
question would be
teamworking,
who's
I
taking
assume.
the lead on this.
That's the real question. Yeah. What's the quote unquote normal roll like that you would consider as the base?
Like the normal difficulty, or
Well, I mean, just to determine who's rolling the best. Like, if a generic roll was, so we can all kind of say like, well, mine's only whatever.
I would have reason security take the be the combination on this one.
All right.
Yeah, so I'm at a 15 for that.
I'm at a 15 as well.
So I'm fine with Rye taking the lead on that because he's looking for a specific thing.
I think Rye's focuses here are slightly better attuned.
I'm a little bit more. Okay, cool. Then yeah, because I got sensor operations, forensics.
Right.
Like those two would really jive. My potential Romulan trait, Way of the Dara.
Since you all have mentioned that you are looking for signs of a cloaked vessel, Shiana, I will let your starship recognition focus apply for your assist.
Okay.
Sarah, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead. You go ahead first.
Sarah, were you going to have Bex assist on this as well?
Sure. What should they use?
They should use reason security.
Okay.
They will not have a focus for this.
Yeah, I figured.
So what is assisting us in the computer or the ship wise?
Given the amount of assistance y'all are getting, I'm not giving you the ship to assist.
That's fair.
Just on this as a one-off.
No, we get enough crap. We're throwing enough spaghetti at the wall. I get you. All right. Well, if someone will roll for me, I'm rolling at a 15 with a specialty, reason science, or reason security. Same thing for me.
Okay. You're rolling how many dice?
I'm gonna roll, since we got 4 dice at it, I'm gonna roll 2.
Okay.
But if the Way of the Dara applies, it will reduce the difficulty as well. But I'll leave that for you to adjudicate.
Yeah, I'll drop
I'll
drop the difficulty here on that one too. Yep. So difficulty 2, here goes. Okay, so we've got 2 successes so far. 1 from you, 1 from Bianca, and 1 from Shiana. So that makes 3. Oops.
I think it was 4 to begin with, and then we reduced it by at least 1.
You got 3 successes on a difficulty 2 roll. So
there we go.
What you are able to find is a 25-minute gap in the sensor log.
And Bex just kind of like deep brow furrow, like she does not, or they do not like this.
I guess the question is, who deleted the gap? Did someone delete it? Did someone turn it off?
Well, obviously it was deleted. You're right. The question is who.
Is Bex able to reverse engineer that?
To determine whether it was turned off or deleted?
Right.
Yes, it looks like the sensors were deactivated for a period of the internal sensors were deactivated for a period of approximately 25 minutes.
The question is, Bex, do we know where or from what console the deactivation command came from?
Can they answer that?
The ship's security station.
The security station.
I have an idea. Very scientific of me, if we can find out, we now know the approximate time in which the command was issued. We can return to the security station, find out any biological material that is left. by determining the half-life of the elements that are left, we can figure out who was the person touching that console at that time.
Or we could be less complicated about it and just review the security footage that actually exists.
I mean, if the person who turned the button off left a security camera and then turned the button off, yes.
I think isn't our main question here, was it Talia herself who deactivated?
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying your idea is solid. A lot less complicated in mine.
What he's saying is if they turned off the sensors, they probably turned off the cameras too.
But I was
But
on,
we have
but
the footage. But we have the footage surrounding that time frame, and we should be able to eliminate.
Not necessarily. 25 minutes is a long time.
I can save you the trouble. That was Talia's shift.
But someone could have.
And are there any indications that she left her station during that shift?
That was Santiago, by the way.
And did you witness her at her station the entire shift?
This time corresponds with the end of her shift. It looks like she programmed the sensors to go offline shortly after she left the bridge.
So she came off shift, programmed the sensors to turn off when she went off shift. Are we now thinking that she left voluntarily?
The evidence points to that.
It does seem to. There is a studied casual sort of chaos to her quarters. Exactly as one would present if one wanted to confuse an investigation.
Bianca's in the room now, and she just smirks and she just goes, Talia never thought about that kind of thing.
She's a security officer. Of course, she thought about it on some level.
Maybe, but
when people are sufficiently motivated, they will do very wild things. It is clear that this is not her.
Always looked. She probably figured if she cleaned up, it would look suspicious.
Exactly. So she didn't clean up so that it would look as if.
But the thing is, she wouldn't have cleaned up anyway. You know what I mean?
I think the question
I think now's the part where we need to trace the activity of all the other security personnel. How much time do we have left?
That's what I came down here to say. If we don't go now to meet our contact, we're going to miss our window.
Then we have to go.
We can figure this all out, the rest of this out later.
My gut says she left voluntarily.
Have to be strong motivation to make someone.
She's an Orion. She ran into slavers. The beacon. She left voluntarily.
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm saying strong motivation was needed.
You're right. What we're missing is the real impetus.
Mm-hmm. So slavery has existed.
Perhaps our contact can help with that.
For years. Something is specific. Something else changed, and that will help us understand her motives and her ultimate end goal.
Something about it had to be personal. We'd run into slavers before.
Exactly.
Well, shall we?
Let's go.
All right. So, the four of you beam down into what really does look like it was like just scooped off of Nimbus 3 like so much cat litter and deposited on the surface of this planet.
I think we should be in civil clothes and not
Good
like
point.
trying to blend in.
We'll retcon that.
Except, like, can I have my batleth with me?
No, you can't bring a full size batleth. You can have a mechleth.
But what if it's one of those nifty ones that like
Or a
Sulu's
dick
sword
top.
in
You
the
can have a
movie?
dick top. What?
What if it's a batleth that like Sulu's fencing sword in the movie where it just folds out?
The Klingons would not invent such a thing.
I know, but it amuses me to
She
think of
has
it.
a point. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't have
No,
any obvious
it's something
weapons
that
on
you would have
me.
had to. It's something that you would have had to bring with you onto the shroud.
Yeah, no, like you could probably have like a knife in your boot or whatever, but
Oh, heck yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah. So
Yep.
type 1 phasers, that sort of deal.
Yeah, we'll totally conceal phaser on me, and I will have my pad or my tricorder inside of a hollowed out book.
All right. So the lot of you follow Varek, who maneuvers like he has been here before, into a small tavern, for lack of a better phrase. Uh, Within are a number of Carina Nebula life forms. There are a couple of Zealand hanging out in one area. There are a couple of Voludan, whom I think you guys have met before. Let me double check. I want to say you have.
Is this place?
Yeah, the Voludan are the species that have trouble being stuck in timelines or becoming unstuck in time. What were you saying?
I'm just curious if this place is going to have. Because if it's that shady, I'm going to get me some Romulan ale to blend in.
It just might.
To blend in, I'm totally getting a
But
Romulan.
okay,
Sometime during
duly noted. There are a
Cool.
couple of aliens that you have not yet made first contact with. They look slightly bovine, only more, like a not like a centaur, but upright two-legged bovid, if that makes sense.
Like a minotaur?
Like that, but more cow-like and smaller, like shorter. Not monstrous looking, if that makes sense.
Cow
Yeah, totally. Cow friends.
There is one, and all of this makes the one male Orion who is kind of sitting talking to a Zealand stand out. He's sitting at a table at the corner that offers the best view of the entire tavern, like all of the exits. There's a Gorn who is probably even larger than the Gorn officer on the Dauntless, larger than Sisram,
That's pretty
sitting at the
big.
table with him. When he sees your away team along with Varek, he just kind of waves the Zealand away, just like dismisses him, and kind of beckons a lot of you over.
Shanna looks over to Rye and to Captain West, and it's like, well, this should be interesting.
In a low, grumbling, kind of growling tone, the Gorn says, "Starfleet."
Telepathically, what is Bianca getting?
No hostility, curiosity, if anything. This Orion has done business with Varek before in the information trade.
Gotcha.
So he recognizes him. You can't get much more than that. And actually, I'm going to say what you got just there, you got from Varek. because you're not able to read the Orion.
This is fine.
There are some metal headpieces that may be contributing to that. He may have had something cybernetically installed to block telepathy.
Well, Bianca gets what she wants to know in
From Varric.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the Orion and the Gorn kind of regard you. The Gorn stay silent like a predator. The Orion says, "Well, aren't you a happy-looking bunch? What brings you all here to my corner of the universe?"
Shanna grins and steps up just a little bit closer. We're looking for a friend of yours.
A friend of mine.
Oh, absolutely.
Starfleet, I have a lot of friends. You're going to have to narrow that down a little.
Orion, female, Starfleet. Doesn't that narrow it down for you?
He frowns. I don't know who you think I am, but I don't have female Orion friends.
And Bianca puts a hand on Shanna's shoulder and she goes, "Female Orion run things."
Say that again?
Female Orion run things where he's from.
And when she says run things, she means things like make the male Orion slaves cut their fingers off because it amuses them.
Yeah, female Orions are dope.
But this Orion's in Starfleet, you say?
I mean, bad. They're bad. Not dope.
Yeah, she's Starfleet.
So Shanna, the male Orion's hand, kind of runs her fingers along his fingers. Are you sure that you haven't seen my Orion friend who happens to be in Starfleet?
My character time will make like a gross spitting noise as I've tasted the first Romulan.
It's not Romulan ale.
Yeah, I'm as of course our security officer looks like she's trying to seduce someone, so it could be both. We don't know.
Oh no, she's threatening to cut off his fingers.
Yeah, I don't know that.
Give me a presence security roll. I'm going to make this opposed.
Can I use my composure?
Because you are trying to intimidate. Yeah, actually, yes. I'll say your composure focus applies here. And I'm going to spend one threat.
And can I take a momentum, guys?
No, go for it.
Go for it.
He just kind of gets this uncertain look on his face. You know, you remind me of someone. You remind me of another security officer. Yeah, I didn't make the mistake of underestimating them either. All right. Listen. I don't typically bother myself with Starfleet's whereabouts out here in the Carina Nebula. It's too many of you, and it's not simply not worth my time. That being said, I have heard talk of an Orion Marauder out in this part of the sector.
A Marauder all the way out here.
Yeah, struck me as a little strange too. But Well, I haven't done a whole lot of looking. I've looked at least enough to determine that they don't seem to be in the slaver business themselves. They've been attacking Zealand convoys.
Mm.
Zealand have been in the business of slaving.
Yes, they have.
Any idea who else might be manning this ship? Come on now.
All I have to
Don't
go.
hold back.
He just sort of gives you an impish smile. He says, I would never hold back on you. I don't have a
Would
name.
you?
I don't have a name. At least not per se. I've just got a really hokey title. The Copper Corsair. And he just kind of rolls his eyes at that.
That's downright 18th century Terran. That's impressive. One more question for you.
For you, anything.
What do you know about Zealand drugs for slaves?
If you want to hit a Zealand convoy, I'll give you that information, no charge.
Baby, you know I want to hit a slaver convoy.
He motions over to the Gorn, who hands him a data pad, which he hands back over to you. When you blow those slaver bastards out of space, tell them Zazret sent you.
You know I will. Thank you.
And that is where we're going to end the episode for the evening.